Today is one of my favorite days. We have a bit of an off day at the gym, so I am going to boost through some recovery. So we're going to start with whole body cryo, and then we're going to jump into a bit of a stretch mobility routine, hyperbaric after that, and then we will go red light and then sauna, and that should be us. But first we need to grab a coffee. But I just wanted to know in the comments, this here we built when we built the house. I've obviously changed my health habits a lot. So we put all this stuff in and literally hasn't been touched in like 2 years because I don't drink at all. But I want to know from you guys, what should we replace this with? I'm thinking maybe some kind of Porsche shrine or memorabilia or something, but I want to know your comments. You might have some better ideas than me. But let's jump in, grab some coffee. Right, straight into the morning coffee. Just gonna run a quick espresso here. Right, so that is done. Quick espresso shot, and the best place to drink that is out by the pond, so we'll head out there. So what I like to do is we set this little spot up when we built the gym that overlooks the pond and waterfall area, so I kind of just sit out here for 5 or 10 minutes, get a bit of morning sunshine, and then shoot inside and get my workout done. But one thing I like to do first thing in the morning is feed the fish and watch them munch away on that. So we'll do that now and then get in there. So we built this when we did the gym, and we've got 15 fish in there now, and it's cool just to come out here and relax, watch the fish. Ties it in nicely with the gym. All right, so here we go. We're in the home gym here, and my schedule is normally super busy with work, so I like to take one of these days or one of these mornings at least once a week, just come out here for an hour, hour and a half, where I'm not kind of thrashing the body in my workouts and just doing a full kind of morning on recovery. I've done a lot of recovery in the past, but not to this extent. So really dialing things in this year with tracking, putting all these modalities in and tracking again. So I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to the tracking side of things. So we've got to make sure that it's actually working, and we've got proof that it's working. So we'll be sharing that with a lot of you guys as we kind of progress with these different studies and these different trials that we're running in the space as well. So without further ado, let's get in the cryo. Right, so first thing is some PPE before I jump in there. So contrary to popular belief, cryo is best done first thing in the morning or before your workout. So it is a recovery tool, don't get me wrong. It's good for pain management, lowering inflammation. But all the NBA, NFL teams, private home customers that we set up, what I tell them is using cryo before their workout, that's gonna lower any inflammation from yesterday's workout, and it's going to increase blood flow after you come out from the vasodilation, after the vasoconstriction side of things. And you obviously don't want to do any cold therapy post-workout, so that's going to lower any positive inflammation from the workout you've done and kind of slow down your muscle growth. So the best way I'd like to use it, and with my schedule, I use it every single day, and I'm out here first thing in the morning, and I'll use it before my workouts, and on recovery days, off days, I'll use it as well. And sometimes I'll use it before bed as well, bringing down the core body temp before I jump into bed. So I'll use it around the kind of 9 o'clock mark. Perfect for that, and really, really good tool for pre-workout, like absolute game changer. So, aside from all that, we need to put on some PPE. So normally I'll come out, I'm in my trainers and gym gear, so I would just throw my shirt off and put on some stuff around my face. But for today, we will put on these lovely slippers. So with cryo, because of the vasoconstriction of the cold, so when I turn this on, it'll go down to about minus 110 degrees Celsius, so it's very cold. And what happens is all the blood pulls away from your outer extremities first, puts it into your internal organs, and kind of protects those, because it thinks you're going hypothermic. You're not, because you're not in there long enough. But with that, it pulls it away from your fingertips, your tip of your nose, your ears, your tips of your toes. And so what we want to do is protect all of those things and expose the kind of bigger, the core, the legs, the bigger parts of the body to the cold and while we're in there. So best thing is covering with this here, and a mask and some gloves. Now, one other thing I like to mention as well, and in my opinion, everyone should be doing this with any kind of cold therapy. So, and that's taking your blood pressure. If you don't know your blood pressure, then this is very important. If you know your blood pressure, it's fine. So what I want to do is we use this Omron kind of wrist monitor here, take blood pressure. So anyone that goes into the chamber or into cold plunge, in my opinion, should be doing this. What you don't want is you don't want hypertension or anyone with high blood pressure going into a very cold environment, which is going to cause vasoconstriction and going to increase the chance of a stroke or any kind of cardiovascular issue while they are in the chamber or in a cold plunge, for example. So taking your blood pressure is super important. Now, I'm gonna have to take this off and shirt off. I'm gonna jump in there. I'm going to do 4 minutes. 4 minutes is the absolute max, and the only reason I do an extra minute opposed to the standard kind of 3 minutes in a cryo is that I measure my skin temp while I'm in there at kind of 3 or 4 different points. Now, we don't want the skin getting down any colder than 10 degrees Celsius. You're gonna start getting into the realm of frostbite. So I'll go in there, push it to about 4 minutes, and then jump out, and then we will do a bit of a stretch, mobility, and then into the hyperbaric. Right, so I am going to set up the unit here. We are going to put it on for 4 minutes. So this is the screen that runs the cryo here. So I'm just going to press play here, and that's going to run me through. Now you'll see the lights will start pulsing on the cryo, and then you'll see the light changing while I'm in there, and it'll go down to kind of -110. So at the moment it's 90 degrees Celsius. When we turn the wind chill on, it takes it down to that -110. That was cold. That was cold this morning for some reason. Much colder, but our chamber is one of the coldest on the market. We have another one as well, which is like a multi-chamber that has 2 stages, and it gets even colder than that. I don't think you go too much colder, but that -90 degrees Celsius that I mentioned before, that's the true cabin temp. Now there's plenty of other cryo chambers on the market, and our one is one of the coldest. If your cryo machine's not making snowflakes inside, it's not going cold enough. But that's that done. So now we're going to run through just a quick mobility and stretching drill routine, and then we'll jump in the hyperbaric for an hour. If I could just ask one thing, if you just quickly pause the video and comment down below which of these modalities you want me to do a deep dive video in the coming videos. Whatever it is, sauna, hyperbaric, cryo, red light, whatever. I want to know what we need to go into a little bit more detail and what you guys want to see. So let us know, and we'll be sure to make a video on that. Right, so mobility and stretching. We're not going to go too deep with this today. Now, after that cryo session, my legs, everything feel pretty good. You get the vasoconstriction while you're in there, and when you come back out, you get the vasodilation. So everything feels pretty nimble and fresh now. So I'll kind of start off very subtly with just a light stretch of the hamstrings with some Jeffersons, and then we'll do a shoulder stretch with the bar over there, and then just a few other small ones. I'm not going to go too long. Normally what I'll do is I'll do a lot of my stretching at night when I'm winding down. I'll jump off the couch and then just sit on the floor. Got some weights and stuff in the lounge, so I generally do my stretching there at night. But we'll do a bit of a mobility drill here, and then we'll jump straight into the hyperbaric. Sweet. All right. So I've got the 18 kg kettlebell heel, and these are probably my most hated and most loved exercise. So these ones got me from being able to touch here right down to touching palms flat on the floor. So really good exercise. I'm not going to get into it too much. I'm just going to rock out a couple of these and then we'll jump into the next one. Right, I probably look a bit like a beetroot at the moment, but that's 3 sets of that done. So really good for thoracic spine, kind of rounding, rounding through your spine, making sure everything's keeping nice and mobile, and good for the hamstrings. And I don't know, look it up, you'll know all about it. So Jefferson's really good. Then the other thing I like to do is tying in with that is a Cossack squat, which I'm not the best at, and especially not at the moment because I've done a bit of traveling recently, so the old hips are pretty tight. I just like to do that with a light kettlebell. So just chucking into it. Right, that is that done. As I said, we're not going to get too in deep. It's just about kind of moving the body a little bit in the morning. The kind of focus is really going to be on the recovery with the tools here. So I like to just kind of move the shoulders as well, get some blood pumping through the shoulders, especially before I'm going to go, sit down for an hour in the hyperbaric as well. So just rolling through. Most of the stuff I like focus on with the mobility side of things, and I can't say I'm an absolute genius on it, but I've just kind of picked up little things along the way. So all of these little things I've kind of picked up on over the years just kind of help keep things moving a little bit freer, and most of it's kind of targeted around kind of gymnastic training and movements around that. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is just a quick stretch on the back extension. So just a side stretch here, and just kind of help free up the back a little bit. Right, 3 sets of that. That is a really good stretch. I absolutely love that one. I also kind of incorporate that with my my back strength work as well, which is really good. Right, as I said before, very short kind of mobility, just kind of get everything moving a little bit. I'd also normally do some weighted good mornings as well, just to kind of free up the hips. That's probably my main thing I need to focus on is hip extension and mobility. But we haven't got too much time, so we're going to jump into the hyperbaric now. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just turn on all the compressors and concentrators. So what we've got here is the concentrator. We've got the compressor in there. Compressor pressurizes the chamber. Concentrator makes the oxygen. And then this here is the cooler at the top here. So my chamber is one that we've spec'd the highest. We don't normally sell this one in this spec. We've only done one other in this spec, but this one we've made a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit more comfortable, and done a few other things which we can go into more in depth in one of my other videos. So that's all set up now. So what I'll do is I'll hop in there, and I'll just kind of going to run an hour protocol just for an hour. I'm going to go up to about 2 atmospheres, or down to 2 atmospheres, and then just chill out there and run the session. And so I'll see you in an hour. As you would have seen in a lot of hyperbaric and a lot of hyperbaric stories, that tablets and devices are not recommended in hyperbaric. Now, we get around this one way. So with the PVHO, which is the kind of the golden standard when it comes to certification for hyperbaric, no lithium battery devices in here, excuse the mic, but what we do is we have all low voltage stuff in here. So 12 volts, 12 volt Samsung device with no batteries in the back, and that way I can sit in here, I can do emails and stuff in the chamber, or I'll sit here and read a book. So as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to set up the protocol here just quickly. And I've just made this protocol at 2 ATA for an hour. So I'm just going to run that. And then we're going to close the door. So that is now closed, and then we're just going to start the session, and I'll put this mask on here. So this is the bibs mask. This is going to pump the 95% oxygen from the chamber through this hose here. I'm going to breathe it into obviously to my lungs, and then when I breathe out, the CO2 comes out of this line. So what this is doing is it's pushing more oxygen into my blood, but specifically into my blood plasma. And so that helps with kind of recovery, anti-aging, getting that oxygen into old damaged tissue and into areas that wouldn't normally get. And that's where the kind of the gold standard is with hyperbaric, and that's where all the benefits come from. So super important. So in this session, I'm going to go in here for an hour, run up to 2 ATA or 100 kPa, which is the measurement of the pressure. Previously, about a month ago, and we will be posting on this soon. So make sure you subscribe because we will be posting on my 60 sessions over 90 days. Now, it's only me and Brian Johnson that have completed that in a private setting, so I'm pretty stoked that I actually made it right through that 60 sessions, but keep an eye out for the results on that. We will be doing a full video on the results of my 60 sessions, but that was a long, torturous time, 120 hours in this chamber. So an hour session is much nicer and much easier to do. So we'll get in, do that now, and we'll see you in an hour. All right, we are now decompressing. Well, we've been decompressing for about 10 minutes now. We're down to 30 kPa, so on the home stretch. Now, I know someone is going to comment and saying, hey, you can't have, I thought you just mentioned you can't have lithium batteries in there and you've got this mic in. Now, yes, but makes it very hard filming without a mic. So what I have done is we have this lipo bag in here. So this is very similar to what you'd have in a helicopter, whatever. So if, for example, this microphone combusted into flames for some reason, I don't want to be stuck in here with the microphone, so I'd put it in this lipo bag, and that would contain it. I'd stop the session and hop out. So don't get too upset about the microphone in the hyperbaric chamber. The other thing to mention as well is inside here is 21% oxygen, so it's not enriched oxygen, it's not 100% oxygen, so very, very safe inside the chamber here. So all these chambers we make, we have inside here 21%, and then the only oxygen that comes into the chamber is through this bibs mask, and it's on a regulator. So if I'm not breathing in, there's no oxygen, enriched oxygen coming into this chamber. Now, if there was something that failed or whatever it may be, we've got an oxygen reader in here as well. So if that went to 23%, so obviously 21% I'm at the moment, if that went to 23%, it dumps all the air out of this chamber and keeps replacing it until you can exit the chamber. So all of these safety kind of devices we put into these chambers to make sure they are as safe as can be, and also make them nice and comfortable for the end user. So it means you can come in here, you don't have to worry so much about cotton clothing and all that kind of stuff that you do in some of the older hyperbaric chambers that pressurize with 100% oxygen. Right, that's a nice comfortable way to spend an hour getting more oxygen into the blood. So what I've done now is I've just opened the manual valve at the back here, opened that right out, dumping that last little bit of air out, so then the door automatically open, and then I'll be able to exit the chamber, and then we'll jump in and do some photobiomodulation, or commonly known as red light therapy. So almost everybody knows about red light therapy, photobiomodulation. We've been doing this for about 9 years now, 8 or 9 years, and this is the unit that we've developed, and we do things a little bit differently. So commonly, there's a big misconception when it comes to red light therapy that it's a one-size-fits-all. You lie under these red and near-infrared lights and get all this range of benefits. But when you start digging into the science and the research, it shows that you always need to be getting to a peak. So whatever you're trying to treat or achieve, so whether it be sleep or performance or soft tissue damage, you're always trying to get to this peak. And that's what you're trying to do with all these different modalities, is you're trying to get to a peak, not go above that and not go below it. So what we did, what me and the team did, is we kind of worked out on the software, so you have specific conditions or treatments that you can select in the software, and then the machine is curated and dialed in for that exact treatment based on that research for that treatment. So it just makes it super simple. So you just go in here, choose sleep, choose performance, whatever it is. The machine's all set up, lie in there for your 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then jump out, get on with it. So every 48 hours in red light therapy, that's what I try and do. So I normally incorporate it before my workout, or midway through, or during the day. Doesn't really matter when, and I'll do it every 48 hours. So we're going to set this up, jump in there, and get it done. So this is one of our older models, but we have a new one that I'm super stoked about. We spent so much time developing, and in my opinion, it is the most advanced red light therapy bed or device on the market. So we'll have that in the studio here probably in about 3 weeks' time. So we'll do a bit of a video on that once we get it. So shirt off, you want as much skin as exposed as possible. Now I'm not taking my underwear off, you won't want to see that, but we'll jump in here, we'll do our 10 minutes, and then jump out, get into the next thing. Right, that is the session complete. So we're 10 minutes in there. Now, one question I get asked a bit is, should you be wearing eyewear in the bed or with red light therapy? Now, there is research that shows it's beneficial to absorb the wavelengths into the eyes. Now, if you suffer from it being too bright, there is eye strain as well. So if it is too bright, put some goggles on or a towel over your eyes to eliminate that eye strain. So we've got the sauna set up. It is at 85 degrees Celsius. Now, the way I designed the sauna, I have that at 85 degrees Celsius at a kind of chest level, and then where you're sitting is at about 75 Celsius. So that's what most of the research is showing. So super important where you have your sensor set and where you have your temperature set on the sauna. So I'm going to roll through, and a couple of little other things that I do to kind of prep for my sauna, and then I'll jump in there, do my 20 minutes and maybe 25 depending on how I go, and then that'll be us for the recovery session. Okay, so a couple of things that I run through before I jump in for my session is I like to cover my wound. I have damaged one in the past with sauna use, so I cover that with just a simple tennis wrist sleeve, whatever you call that. I also wear a retainer at the moment, for like a plastic retainer for teeth straightening, so I take that out as well. And I generally take this Yeti cap off. I don't really want any plastic in there. It's pretty hot, it is very hot in there. I keep this right down low. If I keep it up high, it is almost untouchable. But if any of you guys know where to get a silicone or wool sleeve or something for this, or if you've got any other solutions with taking a big vessel that takes even more water than this would be ideal into the sauna, let me know in the comments. And then other than that, we've just got a lovely sauna hat here, and shirt off in there, and let's grind it out. So it's always torturous in there, but I love it. So let's get into it. Right, there's nothing like feeling like you're gonna die and then just not. So I prefer traditional over infrared, and we'll go into a bit more detail in some coming videos on that. So we're gonna get real nerdy about that. We're gonna do some full testing with infrared, core body temp and versus traditional. So that'll be cool, follow along for that. Now, this is a bit of a different day to my normal day. This is a full kind of recovery day. So normally how I would do it is I come out, do cryo first thing in the morning. I would jump in, do my workout for an hour and a half, and then I'll jump into the sauna. So cardiovascular system is pumping. I want to prolong those benefits, so I'll jump into the sauna. I'll do my 20 minutes after my session. But same as what I'll do now, so I'll naturally let my body cool down under its own steam, and that's going to prolong those sauna benefits as long as possible. Now, if you went to jump into a cold plunge or a cold shower, that's going to lower some of those kind of positive benefits you're getting from the sauna. So we want to prolong that for as long as possible. Once again, get it to its peak and prolong that benefit for as long as possible. Now, one other thing worth mentioning is this whole kind of space was created to do videos like this, but we've got some pretty cool stuff coming up. So I would prompt you to subscribe to the channel. We've got some pretty cool things where we've got some industry people coming through, which you'll really find interesting. Some professional athletes that'll be coming through the space. We'll be talking about their recovery, their performance, their kind of trajectory over their kind of career, and doing a lot of these sessions, VO2 max training, hyperbaric with them, and kind of getting their feedback on how they've found it, and then doing some long-term kind of studies and kind of more clinical trials in this facility. Obviously not full clinical trials, but as good as we can get it in this space. We want to kind of provide as much education to you guys and the greater kind of wellness, longevity, health community as much as possible. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. We'll be kind of doing updates with this. We'll try and get a video out every single week, and we'll try and keep it interesting. But if you've got something that you want to see us cover, whether it's modalities in here or something else you've got in mind, then let us know. Obviously the channel is relatively new, but we want to provide good content and stuff that you guys want to see. So let us know, and until then, we'll see you in the next one.